Hello, everyone. My name is Ángel del Valle, and I will be presenting Language Teacher Professional Identity, edited by Combee et al. So let's go ahead and get started. So the authors tackle the idea of language teacher identity, or LTI, from here on forward, in the context of super diversity in neoliberal world. By super diversity, they mean exactly that. Populations are more diverse than ever, and neoliberalism refers to the economic philosophy of free markets and their effect on societies. LTI itself is tackled from a post-structural and postmodern perspective in which theories of language and its context from which meaning is negotiated, and therefore language teacher identity itself is held to contextual discourse. The methodology used to study said identity began in teacher education in general and can be seen as though a teacher's identity is predetermined. However, teachers do have agency, and this back and forth is seen in Mead's work specifically, in which he makes a distinction between the I and the me. So for the I, it relates to the response of the individuals to the attitudes and behaviors of the others. The me, however, concerns the result of position taking or internalizing and assuming the perspective of the other, for what Mead calls the generalized other. From a sociopolitical perspective, and circling back to the neoliberal context, many EFL teachers, or English as a foreign language, the authors point to teachers from Sudan and Poland. They don't wish to identify as a teacher of English as a second language, merely due to economic reasons, mainly because they are not well paid. Then we have the added complication of native versus non-native English speakers, or nest versus N-nest, native versus non-native English speaking teachers. So unfortunately, the non-native teachers struggle to gain legitimacy and status as they are seen as less than native English speakers. However, in one particular case, they found that Vietnamese teachers didn't suffer from native speakerism because English in Vietnam is largely taught by locals. Also, due to being Western trained, this particular set of teachers saw their identity as fluid, with a core identity existing fluidly and dynamically alongside other constructed identities. Finally, we have a language teacher identity being attached to knowledge. In short, it can be explained by Johnson's quote, "We are what we know." Our social, political, and cultural context inform our identity as well as our grasp of the language. Therefore, someone's identity is contingent not only on where they are from, but how well they dominate the material, from grammar and vocabulary to pedagogical knowledge. I would like to end on a personal note. In reading this article, I was able to identify every single theoretical framework in my own, albeit limited, experience as a English teacher, whether it's as a second language or as a foreign language. It was the last point of "we are what we know" that resonated with me the most. Personally, as in my own identity, who I am as a person, I completely understand the discourse between the I and me. I self-identify as Mexican, a naturalized U.S. citizen, bilingual and bicultural individual. However, everyone else sees an American. When it comes to my language teaching identity, I am definitely on the side of we are what we know because I am not a trained teacher. I never took education courses or child psychology courses, etc. I am also not a trained language teacher. I never took courses on how to teach language. I benefited from the bias in favor of the native speaking individuals. People assumed because I spoke it so well, I must know it very well. However, I think back to my first year as a language teacher, and I felt so insecure. I kept asking everyone I could, but how do I teach this? Everyone gave me the same answer of, don't worry, you'll be fine. Being a native speaker did help me, but I was basically learning the grammar along with the students. I was just able to explain it to them. I had many aha moments in which I thought to myself, so that's what it's called. I feel a bit guilty because many of my colleagues are much better teachers than me. But because of the discrimination towards non-native speaking teachers, many students feel like they aren't getting a good, as good an education as they would with myself or other native speaking teachers. Regardless of training or knowledge, uh, I have to say though, I am much more confident in my abilities now, and I am much more secure in my identity because I have built up my knowledge base, but that has been through uh, years of working and studying and brushing up. So it did not come easy, but I do feel much more secure in my teaching identity. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.